Hello, my name is Jacob, and I want to welcome you all to this new Bridge TV channel on YouTube. What we want to do here is to give you some behind the scenes stories from some very well known bridge players. We want to hear their stories and we want to share their experiences with you. We also want to make shorter videos from different bridge related events and stuff like that. I hope you will welcome the channel, and if you do, if you like what you're seeing, I hope that you will subscribe to the channel and press the like button. That way we can make a lot more videos just for you. In this first episode on the Bridge TV YouTube channel, I have a talk with very well-known, famous superstar Dennis Bilde. He's a 30-year-old Danish bridge player. He grew up in a bridge playing family, and we have a talk about how his life was back then, what he has accomplished until now, and what his plans of the future is. Please enjoy my conversation with Dennis Bilde. All right, Dennis Bilde, welcome to the show as our very first guest. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. I'm doing great,
That's good.
and I'm looking forward to trying this.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
Dennis, I would like to start with your story. You grew up in a bridge playing family. Could you tell
I
us a
did.
little? Could you tell us a little bit about how was that, and was that the way you got interested in bridge?
Yeah, it kind of was. I mean, when growing up, I at my home we didn't play bridge. I have two younger siblings,
Mm-hmm.
and the three of us and our parents we didn't play bridge, but we played a lot of games and a lot of other card games. And my parents had a lot of friends in the bridge world. So whenever they came over, we would play cards with them. So we knew a lot about card playing.
So you played other
Uh,
kind of trick games, trick card
yeah,
games? Yeah.
we did. Yeah, we did
What kind?
many.
What kind?
We played, for example, ten stick. It, it relates to spades, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh,
Uh,
Yeah, and how was the transition then? Because both your parents and a lot of other people in your family are bridge players. So how did you transition into bridge?
it came when I was 11 years old. Me and some friends of mine, I think we were about 8 guys. We went to this weekend course in Vejle with a famous bridge player in Denmark at that time, Willy Dam.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, all together, and it was a weekend for junior players. We went there, we had fun, and thought it was, well, great to play some cards. For us, it was just like
Yeah, yeah.
any card game. We could hang out with our friends, sleep over. It was fun.
Uh-huh.
And then already the weekend after, I actually played my first Danish championships.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
How
with
did
one
you
of
do?
we did great.
Yeah.
No, we didn't win, but we managed to get to the A group.
Oh, really?
So in the qualification, we could go to the A group or the B group, and
Mm-hmm.
we made it to the A group, which we obviously lost by a mile, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
But
But it,
I was so proud. I remember I called my mom and said, "Mom, we made it to the A group."
yeah, yeah, of course. Of course.
It was fun, and from there on, we were about, yeah, this group of 8 who formed 2 teams who played in the Danish Junior Championships,
Mm-hmm.
which was like 3 or 4 weekends every year. So we met up and played these weekends and had fun, and just, I mean, got addicted in some way.
Yeah, I was about to ask that because I remember when I started playing bridge, I dreamt about it at night and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And I guess a lot of new bridge players gets kind of addicted.
yeah, really.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough that my dad is one of the best bridge players in Denmark, so he could teach me and our group
Yeah.
a lot. So I mean, whenever I didn't know what to do, I could ask him, and he taught us just natural bridge from the beginning. So what we did was we played a very natural kind of system. We just learned to take a lot of tricks, and bidding came afterwards.
Okay. And was that how how was that for you? Because I mean, yes, your father is one of the best bridge players in Denmark and still is, I guess. And did you feel any kind of pressure from your family? Did they
No,
really
not
want
at
you
all.
to? No.
No. This was exactly like playing football or playing badminton or whatever other activities I did.
Okay.
So this was for me was just like another activity to do besides school.
Okay. And
Yeah.
and of course you were kind of privileged to have your father and mother around, and you is it true that quite early you got some really great bridge partners to play with?
Yeah. I mean, well, when I started when I was 11, and the first couple of years I played with my junior friends. Um, but at the age of, was it 17 or 18, I started to play in the Danish league with Sabine Augen
Yeah.
for 1 year.
Yeah. Okay.
And obviously she's a professional player, has played and won world championships, European championships, everything around the world. And she's still one of the very good players in the world. So that was amazing to get the opportunity to play with her.
Of
Definitely.
course. How much would you say that in your own bridge development, in your own learning curve, how much how important is it to play with better
Play with
players?
experienced
Yeah,
players.
yeah.
It's very important. When for my own part, when I played with my friends in my age, I mean, obviously we learn by doing, right? But you don't have the experience that these better players have. So I played with Sabine, and straight after that, I played with another one of the best players in Denmark, Hans Christian Graversen. And I might have thought that I was at least as good in the card play, but they taught me so much more about bidding, about the thinking, about when to put pressure on, when to stall a bit. So more than just the thing. I mean, for juniors, it's all about taking a lot of tricks. Bidding isn't so important. You take a chance here and there. You try out the best. And sometimes you make the hand, sometimes you go down. But if you want to take the next step, you have to understand the thinking behind it. And that's where the experience comes in.
Would you say that's the right way to go? Start with taking a lot of tricks and then play for some years and then start thinking about the bidding.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to be in the top, be an expert, the most important thing in the beginning is to start taking some tricks and understanding the game.
Is that
just the basics of the game?
Yeah, is that because we're talking 12, 13, 14-year-old juniors, or is it in general? I mean, I have a feeling that a lot of intermediate players, club players in general, they focus so much about their bidding system and not as much on taking tricks.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, it's a natural part because bridge is both bidding and playing. So it's natural that they focus on both, and in the bidding they can develop a system where they have their own sayings instead of just doing what's right by the book. But I really think that if you focused a little bit more on the play instead of all these fancy conventions, that's the way to get better. And then slowly you can start and focus on the conventions.
Yeah.
I mean, when I played my first international championships, I was 14 years old in Prague, 2004.
Yeah.
Me and my partner, we didn't even play transfers.
Okay. Yeah.
one no trump, and we had one very good board. We there was a rook ref there. We didn't play on rook ref, but on rook ref you could see all the results.
Okay.
So everybody played one no trump down one or down two, because everybody opened their 15, 17 no trump, pass, pass, pass.
Yeah.
But on our table we bid one no trump, pass, two diamonds, pass, 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 two diamonds just to play.
Yeah.
And in the rook ref they were sitting there. My dad he was there, and the commentators couldn't understand how we found this amazing contract
Yeah.
of two diamonds. And they were sitting there chatting about, oh, they must play some really good system.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my dad
It's
said,
really
yeah,
good.
they
Yeah.
don't play transfers, they
Yeah.
just play natural.
Yeah, that's nice. It's
Yeah.
especially nice when it works out. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Um, so having this having these opportunities playing with great players in the beginning of your career, is that I have a feeling that you really give a lot back to the bridge community now when you're an established world class bridge player. You do a lot of work for you junior players. You do a lot of work for bridge in schools in Denmark, especially,
Yeah.
I guess. Could you tell us a little bit about your thoughts about this subject? Do you is
Yeah.
that do you feel obliged to do it, or is it just like no?
No, I don't feel obliged, but it's comes kind of natural to me, because my dad is actually the one who runs the project of getting Brits into schools.
Mm,
And I mean, he's a man in Danish schools, Brits, at the moment.
yeah,
So it's easy for him whenever he needs me to do something to help, maybe come out to a school. It's easy for him just to call me, and whenever I'm available, I'm happy to do it. Because I mean, first of all, I think it's a shame that Brits has this reputation of only being for your grandma
yeah,
and granddad, right?
yeah.
Because it's such a great game. You and me know that, and I don't know about you, but I don't have grandkids yet.
I might look like I have, but I don't.
No, but I mean, it's such a great game, and I mean, I learned it at a young age, and I feel kind of lucky I did, because I have so many great experiences coming from bridge.
Yeah,
So I really would like some more youngsters to start playing. So whatever I can do to help that, I'm happy. I'm happy to do.
great, great. Um, yeah, so now you turned 17, 18, and was that? I know you have won a few world championships as a junior player. Was that in that period, or?
Yes, when I was 18, I won the first junior world championships
Yeah,
in 2008
yeah,
with the Danish junior team.
yeah.
And my partner and I we were not that old. We actually played for the under 20 team in the qualification,
Hmm.
and we didn't qualify with our team.
Oh, really?
But then yeah, and then the juniors, the under 26, they qualified,
Yeah.
and it was kind of natural to pick us as a pair, because we were, I mean, upcoming, and I think maybe some of them had gotten too old during the period from the qualification to the World
Ah,
Championships.
okay, okay.
Yeah, so we got picked to play our first under 26 tournament,
The world championships,
the World Championships.
and
Yeah,
you won.
and we ended up winning.
How high is that on your? I don't know what it's called. Your memories, best bridge memories.
Memory lane.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's very high up there,
yeah.
because I I remember the feeling I had going into the final set of the final. The final was played over 4 sets one day,
Uh-huh.
and I clearly remember the feeling I had. I was very very nervous going into it. Normally, I wasn't that nervous playing bridge, because I mean it was just a hobby of mine, and
Mm,
I was good at it. I was better than the others, but I was calm
mm,
and happy. But here I got nervous, really nervous.
yeah.
We were leading a little bit against Poland,
Okay.
but I
Did it affect you?
clearly sorry.
Did when you were nervous, did that affect you in your play?
I think it might have affected me in a good way
Ah,
actually,
okay.
because when I sat down at the table, I mean the nervousness I had before kind of went away, and I used it to my advantage,
Mm,
and and kind of just played probably one of the best sets I had played at that time,
yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
least. So I mean, the last set, I remember my dad and one of the other Danish supporters was sitting there watching at our table, and I mean, we basically didn't do anything wrong.
Mm.
We made all the right guesses. The finesses were on, and we won
That,
a lot.
that's the way to win bridge
It
tournaments, isn't
is,
it?
yeah,
Yeah,
by style.
yeah, yeah. Do you still have? Can you still feel nervous now, 13, 14 years after your first World
Yeah,
Championship? You can still feel nervous before
yeah,
going
I can.
into a big
I
final
I
or a big
I
tournament.
can. I can. I mean, usually I'm not nervous at all before the big tournaments, before and the big matches, but I can sometimes then when I sit down feel the nervousness.
Mm.
But I feel I'm good at using it to my advantage.
How do you do that?
Uh,
How do you turn it around to use it as an advantage?
I think it's mentally I'm quite good at it. I've always been good at it. Also in other sports,
Mm.
I played quite a lot of badminton when I was younger, and and I was always known for the guy who never got upset. When you play against kids in badminton, everybody they get upset whenever they lose a ball.
Yeah.
I never got upset. I just like walked around quietly out there and told myself, I know I can beat this guy.
Yeah.
I know I can beat him.
Mm.
And the other guys they were screaming and shouting and they got upset because I wasn't getting upset if they won a point.
It's but it's funny because I think that we can all talk about how to do this. I guess most bridge players can learn how to make a finesse, or
Yeah.
we can talk about our system. We can learn different conventions, stuff like that.
Mm.
There's a lot of
Psychology.
psychology behind being a winning
Yeah.
bridge player, and
Yeah.
I
Really.
it's more difficult to find any reading materials to improve that these aspects of the game than it is to write
Yeah.
or read a technical bridge book, right?
Yeah. I think a lot of it is basically about your gut instinct.
Mm,
You have to trust your gut instinct
mm,
and go with it because bridge is basically a game of mistakes, and you have to accept that. Even no matter how good you are, it's a game of mistakes, even for the best in the World Championships finals.
mm,
Um, so nothing you do when you're sitting there playing a tough match, nothing you do is for certain. Certainly not in the bidding. If you make a preempt, if you put some pressure on,
mm, mm.
nothing is certain. But you have to trust your gut instinct, and if you keep doing that, I at least for me, it works. Uh, if I start, you know, being uncertain about my own ability or if what I do is the right thing to do, then I play worse.
Yeah,
And I mean, I don't play tough Brits the same way as if I trust in myself.
yeah,
So it's basically about telling yourself what you do is good enough. There's a reason you're sitting here,
mm,
and you can beat these guys.
yeah.
It's a lot of it. A lot of it is just mental. It's psychology.
That
Because most of the guys sitting there playing the big tournaments, they are very good players. They can basically, technically, they're good enough to win most of them.
yeah,
But mentally, you need the mental
yeah.
thing
I
as well.
understand. Um, I've talked to others about this, and I've said that no matter if it's bridge or other kind of sports, or performing when you have to perform.
Yeah.
If you get too scared to make a mistake,
Yeah.
then you kind of stop trying to do the right thing, right? You understand the
Yeah.
difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
you try, instead of trying to do the right thing, you try not to do the wrong thing.
Exactly. That's what I
And
meant.
that's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Dennis, we're gonna take a short break, and we will be right back.
Okay.
Okay, we are back. So, Dennis, we talked about your first World Championship as a junior, but you actually won another one, didn't you?
Yeah. I kind of had to. I put myself in a difficult situation.
Really?
Yeah, because after the first World Championship I won, I kind of went, after we won, we went to celebrate, and during the celebration I lost my gold medal.
Oh no.
Yeah, I did.
Really?
In China. Yeah, and I mean, what you lose in China doesn't come back.
No.
It's just the rules of the country. so I kind of told myself that I had to win another World Championship gold medal.
Yeah, of course. Was that the year after, or when was that?
It was 2 years after.
2 years after.
It was actually the first time I was playing in the US. I played on a Danish team. We played what was it, the Rosenblum, the Open World Championships in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I think it was. And we got knocked out. And then there was this at the same time there was the Junior World Championships, which Denmark hadn't qualified to go to.
Okay.
But they also had the Junior Individual Championships.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, why not sign up for that? So I signed up, and it was, I think, 3 days where you play. The first couple of days were a qualification, where you play with a new partner in every round.
Yeah.
So basically, the
every 2-3 boards, something.
Yeah, 3 boards around, I think. Yeah. And in the final, we were down to maybe 24 players, and so we played 23 rounds. So you played 1 round with each of the other players, and it's match point scoring, and the winner was the winner.
The winner was Dennis Bilde.
The winner was me.
Yeah. How big is the variance in a tournament form like that?
It's obviously quite big.
Yeah.
Because no matter how good you are, you can have the wrong partner at the wrong time.
Yeah.
If your partner does a fuck up, I mean, what can you do? If your opponents do a good thing, what can you do? Yeah. I think the variance in individuals are higher than just regular match points.
Yeah, but still you won. And
and
did you remember?
I felt I won quite handily, actually, quite safe. I even felt like the final day didn't go my way that much.
Okay.
But yeah,
you did enough.
It was enough.
And did you remember to take the medal back to Denmark?
I did. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
I had to.
Yeah. So Dennis, let's so you are double world champion, junior world champion, and you finished your school in Denmark and stuff like that. You got your education, and how was the transition to playing bridge as a profession? What happened? What?
Well, I discovered that it was possible to be a professional bridge player, I guess. Because I mean, in Denmark, bridge is just a social game.
Yeah.
So whenever I played in Denmark, there was, I mean, you don't make money from it. I mean, if you own a bridge club, you can make a living from it. But just as a player, it's just a social game.
Yeah.
So I never thought of it as my profession. Then when it was probably after I won the individual juniors, I realized that it was possible. So I started to go and play some of these big tournaments, the national tournaments they're called, in the US.
Yeah.
And from 2011, I went to a couple of those. And in bridge, the thing is you need as sponsors, you need to get hired by a team to play. And just winning the Junior World Championships for Denmark and the individuals, it doesn't give you a name over there. So you need to make a name for yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had to go over and play. Obviously, I knew a lot of the guys I'd been played junior bridge with, but I didn't know the big guys in bridge.
Also, maybe we should say that it's when you're telling this, it's because the prize money in the bridge tournaments, they are not to compare with prize money in like poker, for example, and stuff like that. So you can't make a living of the prize money.
Of prize money, no. That's impossible.
Yeah.
There are very few tournaments where they actually have prize money.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went over there, played 3 tournaments or something. Like, they have 3 tournaments every year, 3 big tournaments. And I went over there and I got some good results. I actually won some of the very important tournaments over there.
Who did you play with at that time?
First, I played with Hans Christian Graversen, the guy I partnered after Sabine Augen in Denmark.
Yeah.
We also played on the Danish national team.
Yeah.
So we went there and we won a big pairs tournament. It's not one of the biggest tournament, but it's level just under, and it counts as a national championship. So we were American national champions.
Yeah.
And then I went the next tournament. I went and I played with Anders Hagen from Denmark, and we played a Swiss teams tournament where we also won.
Okay.
So it was 2 tournament series in a row that I won one of these national championships.
Yeah.
And then I went with my dad, and we won the Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Playing with Sabina and Roy.
Yeah.
As teammates.
Yeah.
And that deal came through on a ski trip the same year.
Okay.
So we went on a ski trip with Sabina and Roy in February in France. And we played some bridge there, and so Roy was kind of impressed by my bridge skills after we had gone skiing all day. He was playing with Sabine. I was playing with my brother, who was just started to play, and we were beating them.
Yeah. Okay.
So he said, okay, let's go and play something.
Yeah.
So I just started to play with my dad in Denmark. So we went and played with them in the Vanderbilt in March. Yeah. The same year.
And that was a huge result, of course. And was that the breakthrough, if I could?
That was the breakthrough. Yeah. Because the tournaments prior to that, I didn't have a sponsor.
Okay.
So and the tournament we played with Roy Sabine, we didn't get paid. We just went there as friends.
Yeah.
And we played for fun. Because bridge was fun to me anyway, right?
Yeah.
But then after that, I started to talk to people, and I got a contract for the next. Over there, you call it a cycle.
Yeah.
Which is the 3 tournaments that year.
Okay.
So for the next cycle, my dad and I, as a partnership, got a professional contract.
Mm-hmm. And you never look back from that.
I never look back.
No. Yeah. Okay. Dennis, I would like to talk a little bit about something else. I guess that's your story, and that's a lot of junior players' dream, I guess, to be able to make that journey that you did here. I would like to know, because I know you from talking to other players. We had some fun together. We actually even played a little bit bridge together. And what I've heard, you are always the nice guy. I have never, no matter who I've spoken to, I've never heard anyone saying that anything else, that Dennis is so nice. He's so nice to partner with. He's so nice to play against. He's always polite at the bridge table and stuff like that. I would like to hear your thoughts about how do you set yourself up to big tournaments, and how does this I'll put it in these how does this nice guy image, how does that fit into to always have the killing instinct? Because at the bridge table you got to be able to kill your opponents in these. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I think kind of that nice guy thing is, I mean, you can thank my parents, I guess. They raised me in that way. I mean, always be nice to people, treat other people like you want them to treat yourself,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And for me, playing bridge, since it's always been like a hobby of mine, so it's just been something I did to have fun. And I think if I didn't like the game in the beginning, I would just have stopped it. And I'm still thinking that if I stop enjoying playing, then I probably don't want to continue. Then I probably would like to find something else to do.
yeah,
And I can feel that sometimes in periods where I play maybe a lot of bridge. Sometimes it I mean, if you don't do well, it's not that enjoyable to play for a long time. And I can feel that on myself. If I don't enjoy it, I play much worse. So
yeah, I understand.
I try to just, I mean, I love the game, and it's such a great game, so why not enjoy it in the best possible way? And that, I think, if people around you are having a good time, then you are having a good time as well.
But would you agree if I said that some bridge players in different levels, they have kind of this strategy that the ruder I am, the more uncomfortable I can make my opponents feel, the bigger chance I might have that they will make a mistake. I think some.
There's two ways. There's two ways in this, because there's some kind of truth to that. That if you are being a dickhead at the table and putting a lot of pressure on by just being kind of uncomfortable to play against, then obviously if you play a lesser experienced player, they won't feel good and they won't play well. But on the other hand, if you are like that at the table, then your opponents are going to be, I mean, the same way. So if you play better players, they will be bad to you as well.
Yeah.
And I think there's an advantage of being good to your opponents, because in bridge there's you can make mechanical errors, right? You can make a wrong bid, you can drop a card at the table by mistake. And usually when I do these kind of things, I'm always allowed to take it back, because that's what I do to my opponents. I feel like bridge should be played in the way that we all want to do. So if my opponent does a mechanical error, like dropping a card that's clearly wasn't intended to be played, I want them to play the card they wanted to play.
Yeah.
Because I want to, if I'm going to win, I want to win like
the right way.
In the right way,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. And it is a gentleman's sport.
And yeah, by old times it is, yeah. But I get that back myself as well. But I know there's a lot of assholes out there who take advantage of everything they can find.
Yes.
And even some things they have to look for. But when you play against these guys, you don't want to give them advantages.
No.
Right? So you want to take advantage of them whenever they do a little misstep.
Yeah.
So I mean, being a nice guy, maybe you give something away, but you get something back as well. And to me, if I play against people who have the strategy of making things hard on life at the table, hard for the opponents, then I don't enjoy the game as much.
Mm.
And I know by myself, if I don't enjoy it, I don't play my best.
Yeah, yeah. And one thing is the technical things. There's also the mental stuff at a bridge table. Are you coming to the new table smiling? Are you saying hello to your new opponents? Stuff
Yeah,
like that. I
yeah.
mean,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
I think it's important because, well, obviously, as I said now a couple of times, if I don't enjoy myself, I don't play as well.
mm, yeah. Okay.
And yeah, that's just
And
how I
and you've
feel
never
it should.
had uh, to go back to the first question I asked this time was how do you set yourself up to important tournaments? How do you find the killer instinct from the back of your head?
It's actually the kind of the opposite of many other things in my life. Because at a bridge table, I'm kind of a perfectionist.
Okay.
So I put a lot of pressure on myself because I know I know my own abilities. I know I'm basically I can play perfect if I am on my best game,
Mm, mm,
right?
mm.
But every time I make a mistake that I feel I shouldn't have made, I get annoyed with
Yeah, yeah.
myself.
Okay.
So it's basically something that I put on myself. I'm kind of a perfectionist there, and in many other things in life, I'm more laid back. Uh, it's not so important,
Mm.
but it's only to myself that I am like this. I put the pressure on myself.
Okay. How do you how d- what does Dennis Bilde do to improve the game or to stay on top? I might say. I mean, as a junior, you were like learning while doing while playing. I mean, and later on in your career, I guess you had to read a book or two or to talk a lot to your daddy,
Yeah.
whatever.
Actually, I read some books when I was younger. Mostly books where you got presented a problem and then you had to find a solution and you can go to the next page and see it
Okay, yeah, yeah,
there. I never read many like technical bridge books,
okay.
but in the beginning I read some and I also learned by doing, obviously, and you start to realize and recognize the different position
Mm.
when you play.
What do you do now?
Uh,
What do you do now besides playing? Do you do any kind of off-table studying, whatever?
I I try to for me it's important to, one thing, you have to remember your own system,
Mm.
because if you play a complicated system and don't remember it, you lose easy points,
Mm.
and that's just stupid.
Yeah. That
Secondly,
sorry, that's kind of important to even intermediate players, right? I
yeah,
would say to know their own system because if you
yeah,
if you forget something, it's
yeah.
just stupid. Yeah.
Secondly, I feel it's kind of important to have your mind cleared of any kind of problems or whatever you
Yeah.
have there, and
Yeah.
and I kind of get that done by doing some exercise.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to stay in shape. When I'm at tournaments, I try to do some exercise there, not too much, just, I mean, so the body gets going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you play bridge, you sit down all day, you don't do anything. You go out for dinner, maybe you have a beer at night, but it's important to have your body and your brain going.
Mm.
So I basically keep in good physical shape. I try to remember that it's just a game. We're here to have fun,
Mm.
and that works for me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it works for everybody,
No,
but
no, of
I'm here to
course.
have fun, and when I do have fun, I play better.
Yeah.
Um,
And the better you play, the more fun you might even have.
that's the thing, yeah.
Yeah. How does I also wanted to ask you a little bit about Yeah, let's start with the last year has been very special and very weird for all of us. Of course, no matter what we
Yes,
do for a living. For you, it
yes.
must have been like a crazy year with online
It's
bridge,
a
or
it's a
what have you?
completely new every day for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. Have you
You
played
see,
online, or what have you been doing?
yeah, I mean, for the last year, I haven't been able to travel.
Oh,
I mean, there was a couple of times I could travel to Italy in September, but then everything locked down again.
mm,
So I've started to play more and more online actually.
okay. And how do you like that?
It's weird
Yeah,
because you see, usually as a Brits player, when you are home, when I'm home, usually I can do whatever I like because I'm off
yeah,
duties
yeah,
as a
yeah,
Brits player, right?
yeah,
But now I have to get into like like a normal like if you have a normal job,
yeah,
like a 9 to 5, I have to get into a routine of playing because these days I'm usually Monday to Friday I'm playing some tournament.
yeah. Okay, okay.
The thing is, the thing that I dislike the most about it is that it's at night for me. So
Yeah,
it's like I start at 4 or 5 p.m. and play until, yeah, sometimes 10, 11 o'clock at night.
because it's a lot of American people, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, because
Yeah,
they want to make it possible for both Europeans and Americans to
mm,
play in the same tournaments,
yeah, sure.
which makes sense. But I would, if I could change anything, I would prefer to have like the routine, so I could go to work from 9 to 4 or 8 to 4 or
Yeah, sure.
whatever,
I
right?
understand.
And do my things and come back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it could fit the schedule of normal people.
What? I guess we are all hoping for the COVID-19 to
Mm,
maybe not go away, but for the vaccines to be fixed
to
for everyone
to be some
pretty
kind of
soon.
a solution.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
what's the future for Dennis Bilde post COVID-19?
Um, I the future is to continue to play. I really hope that we can start playing live again soon
Yeah,
and start traveling.
yeah.
Because for me, Brits is not the same online.
No.
I mean, I've gotten used to it more and more now since I've played a lot, but it's not the same, and I don't feel that the tournaments I play online have the same importance as when I play live.
But is that your feeling, or do they actually not have the same importance?
I I think that depends on who you're asking, because obviously me and many others have Brits as their main income. So obviously there is some importance because if you don't do well, if you get fired from your sponsor, if you
Mm,
don't get a job for the next tournament,
mm.
you lose your income.
Yeah, yeah,
But I'm privileged enough to be in a situation where I'm kind of certain always to
mm.
have uh, an offer at least
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah, yeah,
tournaments, right?
yeah.
But I think I can probably speak for everybody when I say that it's much more enjoyable to play live than online
Yeah, yeah,
because there's so much social in the game of Brits as well,
yeah,
and you lose all of that
yeah,
when you play online.
yeah.
And I also know a lot of people they've at least they've had trouble concentrating and focusing on the screen because
That's a problem for me when I sit down to play on
yeah,
BBO or
right,
whatever. Yeah,
because if you play on BBO, I mean you might have TV running, you might have
I have the
kids
phone, Netflix, kids
live,
shouting, whatever. Yeah,
everything,
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I guess
So
as a professional, you really have to adopt into that world and close everything and really sit down to concentrate in front of the computer. Yeah,
yeah, and still when we play the big tournaments online, I mean a lot of people are still doing everything else
mm.
while they're playing, and I'm one of them. I mean I can't always just sit down. I've gotten better to it, but I still go other websites while I'm playing and talk to my girlfriend sometimes. This and this, but
Not while declaring, I think, but I guess.
no,
No.
no, usually not while declaring.
Dennis, I would like to look at my notes for 1 second.
Okay, you do that.
No, I think we have kind of covered the subjects we talked about. What we would like to do on this Bridge TV channel, we would like to end every interview with 3 rapid fire questions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So are you ready for it?
Wait.
We'll take the random question generator.
Okay.
And use that
Spin
one.
it.
Okay? Yeah.
Spin it.
Exactly. Okay, I'll press the button now. Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's exciting.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready.
Okay, here it is. The first one. What's the weirdest thing that you ever seen at the bridge table? At a bridge table. Weirdest experience. Something.
It was probably I played with a good friend of mine in a pairs tournament in the US, and we played this older lady who just took her chair away from the table as we came, and I couldn't really understand why. And she looked at my partner and said, "Are you wearing cologne?" And he's like, "Yeah." Said, I'm allergic to that. You can't do that. And
okay.
How can you be allergic to that and then be in public? I mean,
that sounds strange. Yeah.
That was pretty strange.
Okay, I'll press it again.
Okay.
Oh, this is a funny one.
Oh,
okay.
God.
It's about how much do you actually love the game of bridge, right? So if you had the choice between being financially independent and never play a single board of bridge again, or giving all your money away as it is right now and still be able to play bridge, what would you choose?
I would play bridge.
I'm happy to hear
Don't
that.
Donate all my money.
And
luckily, I don't have a lot right now.
Okay, so okay, that's a good answer. Everybody's happy to hear that. Okay, last question is, okay, your favorite bridge player of all time?
I would have to go with Sia.
That's also the kind of correct answer, isn't it? A lot of people would say Sia, wouldn't they?
It's a mainstream answer, I would guess.
Yeah.
But I've had the pleasure of playing with him a lot.
Yeah.
And hanging around with him a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like I know him better than a lot of other bridge players,
sure.
at least.
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of his stories, and I mean, he's really fun to be around. He's good company. He is fun. Doesn't always just talk about bridge, and at the table, he's just his own.
So he got the whole package.
He got the whole package. Yeah. I think so.
You know, Dennis, a lot of us also think you actually got the whole package. So I would like to thank you very much for being a part of this first show on Bridge TV. And I wish
you having me.
It's my pleasure, and I wish you all the best of luck in the future. And we cross our fingers that we can all be able to travel soon, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.